Hey guys, Red Chopsticks here. Let's talk about water levels. Water levels are easy to understand. They are an entire level devoted to the element of water. Now we've all seen water before in video games. Whether it's in the background using a water attack or even seeing mini games with fishing involved, water's always around. In fact, we humans are made up of water as well. It's no doubt that water will always be around us. However, when it comes to video games, there's only one thing that comes to water levels. They all suck. The basic problem that we have with water levels is that it slows the pacing down of games. Unless you were made to swim in the water, chances are as soon as you hit water, you instantly slow down. Not only that, you have a great fear of drowning in the water, and sometimes water levels take so much time to get through we just don't want to deal with it ever again. And I'm here to count down the top 10 worst water levels in video games. And like how swimming in a pool has rules, so does this list. First off, one level per franchise. Many franchises like Zelda or Mario and several others constantly throw a water level in their games, but we are only going to take a look at one. I have this suspicion to believe that they actually enjoy to see how much we hate water levels. That's why they keep constantly bringing them back. Second, to count as a water level, you have to dive, swim, sail, or be underwater in some form. This means I won't count beaches and I won't count swamps in just because they add water to them. This is all strictly about water levels, not just putting water within the level. So with that said, let's get started. Put on a life jacket and find those air bubbles. These are the top 10 worst water levels in video games. The Dam level from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. Perhaps one of the most infamous water levels, the Dam level starts this list off. This is a bad game. Well known to many, the Dam level has deadly things that you have to avoid in order to beat this level. In order to get past this level, you have to stop bombs before the time goes off. But you have to avoid electricity, one-hit kills from these things, never figured out what they are. And of course the deadliest thing in the water, seaweed. This level is really annoying, and it only gives you two choices to beat it. Either go really slowly and take less damage and hope to God you can get to the bombs before the last second, or say to hell with it and go straight in, sacrifice a turtle or two to beat it. So if this level is so infamous, why is it so high in the list? Well, we kinda talk about it so much, we might have made it a bit overrated. Don't get me wrong, this is a bad game and a bad water level, but time has made it calm down a bit. It's bad, but there are several worse water levels. However, that seaweed can suck it! I hate it so much! Aqua from Star Fox 64. Ah, the old R-Wing. Nothing beats flying around in this ship taking out the armies of Andross. So why not add a water level that takes you out of the awesome R-Wing and into a submarine? Yay. If you take the hard route, the next planet you'll go to is the water planet. Your mission? Explore the planet and discover the new biohazard weapon that is in this planet. In order to get to the weapon, Fox must go alone in the Blue Marine. And it's so slow. Compared to the R-Wing or even the Landmaster, the Blue Marine takes so long to get to. On top of that, this planet is so dark you have to fire your torpedoes in order to see. Remember guys, if you have a power outage, you don't need a flashlight, just fire random torpedoes. It could work. Fighting in the sea is awkward as well. Dodging or firing torpedoes seem to just go really slow, so getting hit can happen quite a few times. At least you're all alone in this level, so you don't have to worry about Slippy. And what does this new weapon look like? Why, it's a giant clam! Huh. I can't tell. Should I be scared, or should I be hungry? Anybody want chowder? The Labyrinth Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog. I will admit, I'm not a fan of Sonic. I just never got into him, but I will admit he has a couple good games. His talent is speed. Running so quickly through all his levels, we enjoyed it so much, so why not put him in the water, making him go into a dead halt, and make it so that Sonic can't swim? That seems like a good idea. Now Sonic has done several water levels, and any one of them can be bad, but the one I remember the most is the Labyrinth Zone from his very first game. The Labyrinth Zone is bad for many reasons. This world has less room to work with, and once you get in the water, you have to make sure that Sonic doesn't drown. The only way to know is by that infamous music that picks the pace up when he's so close to dying, making you rush to the air bubble and begging for one to come up. You also feel really claustrophobic in this level. There's not a lot of room to work with like his other levels before. Now there are other levels to work with like Hydro City, and I will admit it's a bad idea putting the second level in this game a water level, but I don't know, I could just tolerate this level for some reason compared to this one. Maybe it was the music or the fact that it was a lot more open, it's hard to say, but the Labyrinth Zone just seemed to stick in my mind more. And I have to ask, why can't Sonic swim? He's super fast, wouldn't he just be kicking his feet so high that he reached the surface? I'm sure there's a valid reason for this, but I could care less. Much like this level. The Ocean Map, Suikoden 4. I'm kinda sad that many people aren't aware of the Suikoden franchise. They may not be the best RPG out there, but they are very enjoyable. Suikoden 4 takes place in the ocean, and you have to sail from island to island as the story goes. And it's annoying. Sailing a huge ship or a tiny rowboat can cause many random battles to happen, and it takes a long time to get to from island to island. I'm not complaining a huge ship is slow, but I'm complaining how long it seems to take, and how many random battles you have to go through. Even the game developers knew how long this would take that they installed one button to sail faster. Not a lot, mind you, but still, it's there. Eventually you do find someone that allows you to travel from island to island via by mirror. Yes, the ship can travel through mirrors, don't question its logic, but by the time you get there, the damage has been done.
The weather started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost.
Mount Kazai from Skies of Arcadia. Yet another RPG that hasn't got a lot of attention. And what's not to like? It's pirates in the sky! In order to get a Blue Moon Crystal that you need for the story, you have to go to Mount Kazai. And of course it happens to be on the water, so this means you go very slowly walking around until you get into the dungeon itself. Afterwards it becomes a puzzle that you have to solve in order to get through, meaning you have to press a lot of switches. But this dungeon happens to be a maze, so that means a lot of dead ends, a lot of wrong turns, and a lot of battles. And then there's the boss, this giant turtle. This boss doesn't seem like he's going to be hard at first, but he knows how to press all those annoying buttons that you can't stand. He first has a powerful barrier attack that does 0 damage to him if you strike. And he does this so many times, making him very cheap. I've seen Pokemon trainers use Protect less than this guy. And even if you are able to damage him, he has perhaps one of the best healing spells in the game, making all that damage you did completely gone and you have to start all over again. I'm starting to wonder if the crystal is worth the number of controllers I've broken from this boss and this level. I highly doubt it. The Klang's Lair from Conker's Bad Fur Day. One of the titles from Rare, Conker is both funny and disturbing at times, which would explain me when I think about it, at least the disturbing part. On Conker's adventure, he meets some catfish that will actually give him some money if he helps him out. After climbing an old tower, dealing with some cogs, and opening the safe, he finds the money that instantly goes into the water. After opening the combination, you are then introduced to a water maze. Why do water and mazes always seem to come together? In order to go after the money, you have to navigate yourself through a water maze. Not only that, you have to watch out for a mechanical fish that swims all over the place, make sure your helmet has batteries in order to see, and finally manage your air supply or lose a life instantly without any hesitation. This level has all the cliches of a water level. You swim slowly, you have to manage your air supply, you have something coming after you, and it's dark. So what's your reward for finally getting through this level? Why, $10!
$10. $10.
Really? That's it? $10? Wow, and some people won't do it for Hamilton.
Swim this way, we're kids and we're playing. Now it's very easy, come on and just take a chance at sugar.
No, come back guys, come back. I'm just trying to prepare myself for it. Okay. So, Atlantica from Kingdom Hearts 2.
The Kingdom Hearts franchise is one of those ideas you wouldn't think would work well. Final Fantasy characters and Disney characters in the same universe. But it's true. Not only did they work, they were awesome. Traveling from world to world and seeing the stories that's based off the movies is both interesting and fun at times. In Kingdom Hearts, you get to see Atlantica, which is based off the Little Mermaid movies. In Atlantica, you have a decent adventure with Ariel in your party while you battle Ursula. In Kingdom Hearts 2, they completely forget that it's a game and make it into a minigame. During this level, you press one button, one whole button at the right time to get a high score, and do this again for 4 more songs. Oh, what joy. It's just so boring. It has nothing to do with the Kingdom Hearts story itself, and there's hardly any point in going into this world. I'm not saying Atlantica from the first game was a good water level, but at least it was something to do. It was kind of fun at times and had some good moments. Here it feels more like I'm watching karaoke rather than playing Kingdom Hearts. The only thing I can say about this level is that you can actually play Under the Sea and Part of Your World. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a sucker for the songs. What, there's nothing wrong with liking these songs? Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. Okay, before you come after my head, really think about it. You're underwater, you're swimming around, it's a water level, and it's bad. In Final Fantasy X you are underwater a lot, mostly battling sea creatures for the most part. Oh, in case you're wondering how a human can fight underwater and hold their breath all this time, this is Final Fantasy. Logic and physics takes a vacation on this game. Blitzball is a minigame that's much like soccer. No, but you're close. The first time you are introduced to Blitzball is through a cutscene, and it might look fun at first. Tossing the ball in a wide open field, slamming into people, it could be fun. Oh, how wrong we were. The first problem with Blitzball, you cannot move everywhere. You cannot go up or down at all, meaning all this extra space around here is completely useless. Second, the first time you're introduced to this game, you're going up against what is called the best team on there, and good chances you will lose your first game, as your team sucks. Not only that, the other team will have enough status to actually poison you, and there's no foul in this game at all. Can you imagine that in other games in football when the receiver's trying to go to the touchdown, and someone just tackles him and injects him with poison, and the ref does nothing at all?
Ah, this guy just struck me with poison! Isn't anyone gonna do anything about it? What do you mean it's within the rules of the game? It is? Huh. Really, he can do all that. And we don't think this is dangerous at all? Huh, go figure. Also, this is really strong poison.
The third problem is this. You cannot skip this level. For the next 5 minutes you have to play this game. You can't skip it at all. The entire story of Final Fantasy X must be put on a hold for this boring minigame. It will be the longest 5 minutes of your life. And your reward for doing this game? An entire league opens up for you and you can play more. No! Just no! Next number! The Great Sea from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. The Zelda games have seen several kinds of water levels. Many of them have been slow and annoying, but the Great Sea can take it as the worst. In Wind Waker, the Kingdom of Hyrule is surrounded by ocean. With the help of the King of the Red Lion, you can travel from island to island in this vast, empty, boring ocean. There are many similarities from the game's Suikoden 4, but the difference is that the boat is faster and you don't stop for random battles every single time. But only that. The sea is so vast and open and hardly anything goes on. It's just boring. A few things can happen at times, but nothing really great. You are only pressing one button to sail, and that's it. I don't mind when they try something new, I just wish it wasn't so boring. Eventually you can teleport later on, but by then it doesn't erase the fact that this is so boring. Now some of you might be wondering why the water temple from Ocarina of Time isn't on this list. And I will admit it is bad. Switching your boots around, navigating through the temple, and solving the puzzle, yeah, it's bad. But at least it's something. Not to mention it had one of the most awesome mini-bosses in the entire game. All that headache is worth fighting this boss. Not like going through the entire ocean in Wind Waker and traveling on the Great Sea. And the #1 worst water level is the minus level, Super Mario Bros. I know it seems kinda cheap putting the glitch as the worst, but it is. In level 1-2, before you get to the pipes in the end, you can break some blocks and head above the level to find 3 pipes that will warp you to another path. However, if you break a few blocks and then glitch your way through the wall and go down the very first pipe you see, you go to the infamous Minus World, a never-ending water level. I have no idea how anyone came up with this idea in the first part, but I wish they didn't, so that way I never knew about this level. No matter what you do, you will die, either by the time ending or all the creatures swimming around you hit you. And even if you get to the pipes at the very end, it just sends you right back to the beginning. There is no thank you Mario at the end, there's no annoying Toad, and there's no princess in another castle stuff. It just sends you right back to the beginning. I can't tell if that's better or worse than seeing Toad. Worse, much worse. You move so slowly, you have no way to defend yourself unless you have a fire flower, and you're just completely trapped there. You know what this feels like? This feels like a preview of Gamer's Hell. As soon as you head down to Hell, the devil will be waiting there to give you an NES and say you can play as long as you want, and it turns out to be the minus level. A never-ending, torturous, slow water level for all eternity! Without a doubt, the minus level of Super Mario Bros. Is the worst water level in video games. It just never ends.